Morning guys, John here, Mr. Forex Fire. It is 8:25 on a Thursday morning, 23rd of September, and we are going to be heading into our trading session shortly. Just want to give it a quick recap on everything. We've been doing this for over 7 days, I do believe now. We've been profitable every day. We took a 1% hit yesterday, so that was our first sort of minus day, if you want to put it that way. Again, overall picture, we keep a clear mindset and a positive approach. We look at everything from a bird's eye view and look at the plan from above. As we see on that bird's eye view, we are on a 14.54% profit for those 7 days, averaging just over 2% a day. And I'm happy with that. I know a lot of people are happy with that, because most people that do trade, whether what style they do, find it hard to be able to attain a level of consistency, even if it is 2% a day. Some people can't get that level of consistency of 2% a week, to be fair. Again, it's a structured approach. It is a scalper method, but we confine our area that we are trading in, okay? And if you haven't seen any of the other videos I do, they will be in a playlist as I move forward with these. Each individual week will be put into a playlist, starting from like this week. We've had it starting from the 20th, and that'll go until the 24th. Next week, however, I've got some news on the Monday and the Tuesday. I won't be recording any sessions. Monday, unfortunately, I do suffer with arthritis and I take some heavy medication. So on the Monday, I've got to go for my fortnightly blood tests because of the medication I am. It does make me bad, to be fair. So I've got to check to see my blood levels are okay. And that's going to interfere with the trading session that I do. I was contemplating on doing a session when I get back, but that then is going to take me away from the path that I trade from, okay? So there'll be no recorded session on the Monday. And unfortunately, the Tuesday of next week, I'm getting some electrical work done in the house. And it's big electrical work. So unfortunately, on the morning, everything has got to be turned off while they are doing the work. Obviously, that's for health and safety reasons. So next Monday and Tuesday will be a non-trading day. So I'm just going to go into sharing the screen and see where we lie. Okay, get that handsome baldy-headed Geordie face up there. So this was yesterday. Okay, we had these areas here where I was expecting price to go to. Okay, we had some mitigation on the top, and I will sort of drill into these in a moment. I do apologize. So as we move along, as the day went on, you can see we got a mitigation into the zone, and it was heavily respected. And then we got the touch into the higher side. So after we had the touch in the bottom and the top of those supply areas, I do apologize, just got a tickly cough. We then came back down into the demand area. Now you see how powerful these things are. This is where we are at the moment, so I'm just going to delete these two. Just bear with me, guys, bear with me. Right, got under control, I think. Let's take a look. So we're going to drill in. We can see we are still on this, on the 15-minute, we are still on this huge downtrend. And again, this looks messy, but just ignore that for now. This is for me to look back onto as I drill into it, as we do like an end of month analysis. So we are on this downtrend. However, we've now got this area. Let's take a look on the 15-minute. See, they say there's a big contractual area in here. we've got imbalance. We spoke about imbalance yesterday. Okay, there's your imbalance. Wick to wick, all it was selling. There's 50% being mitigated of this, so we may anticipate price coming down, possibly maybe coming up a little bit, but then coming down into this area before shooting up into that. Let's just take a look to see if we've mitigated it, and we've mitigated into that, to be fair. Is there anything else on the higher side? I just want to have a little look because we're just doing a pre-analysis at the moment. I want to get rid of that. I want to get rid of that one now. You see here, wick, buying, price comes down, selling. So from there to there, okay? So from there to there is imbalance. So that's an area that we could call supply, okay? That's a supply area because it's heavily on the top side. That imbalance is quite a way, to be fair. Quite a distance away. But again, let's just see where we are. Let's get this drilled along. So we could end up getting this up onto here. So that's on a 15-minute, okay? So as we're looking on the overall picture, we're looking for the 15-minute order blocks. We always move up in 2 time frames. So I am anticipating today you move down into one of these 2 areas and then a possible move up into this higher echelon, if that makes sort of sense. Again, we've had a mitigation of this area here. So that's been fully mitigated. So if I just drill into here, let's just see if I can see any imbalanced areas on here. We'll just get rid of that. There's nothing coming into play. For a demand area, we've got imbalance there, most certainly. So we might get a play down into this area before it takes off. So it might come down into here before taking off. See if I can do this on here. Get this drill down. So that's my bias for today, at least. We're going to be looking for one of these 2 areas to go down. Let's go back down to 1 minute. Let's get ourselves drilled in, okay? So we'll just get this in. We are on a slight uptrend. We might be catching the trend on its way back up, to be fair. So let's just take a look. We'll get into this, make this bigger. And again, this might get a little bit messy with lines. We can always sort of get rid of these bias, but you know the bias for now, what I'm looking at. So we'll look at the vertical line. It's half past. Again, we don't rush into anything. 8:30 a.m. start. And then we'll look for our $10:30 a.m. finish. Right, let's just take a look. So I'm looking at that there. It looks as if we're getting an entry. Now, I said this morning on my Facebook Live, I was thinking about taking these back to the 8 o'clock starts. If you look here, okay, this here, and again, we've missed this trade, to be fair. You've got that there. Okay. You've got that there simply because this area here, or this higher high from these higher highs, was broken not once but twice. Okay, and we're getting a flag pattern back in. The entry would have been that there. That there's a massive 1 to 8. So we've missed that. We may get a re-entry on it, to be fair. Tell you what we'll do. We could we'll put that to there. Hopefully there'll be a re-entry come back down. 1 to 6. Right, so I'm going to use that as an entry. Okay, we know the general bias of what I'm expecting. I was expecting either a possible up to the top end. Okay, we more or less hit that here, and then a move down. But I don't know. I'm expecting at least. I'm expecting at least these two areas to be sort of met, if that makes sense, just before we get the bigger push. Because overall, we have started pushing up in a big trend. But again, if we come down, each one of these lower highs, we would end up breaking structure. And if we did eventually go down into this area, it would mean we're continuing in a downtrend. So I'm going to get rid of that because I think we're going to be turning soon, to be honest. We could possibly come down into this area, to be fair. But again, we've missed a hell of a move on this, I do believe. The 8 o'clock start, the 8 o'clock would have had us. There's your 8 o'clock there. So if I'd started this at 8 a.m., we would have been in a hell of a trade. At this time, that would have been giving us a 1 to 2.3. Again, I'm not going to worry too much. I will leave this just to see if it does come back in. What we'll do is we'll get rid of that 8 o'clock start. But I'm open and honest with everybody. I like to keep an open mind. We are trading between 8:30 to 10:30. That's purely because at the moment in this time, it's that the kids and the wife are doing a lot of running around in the morning. It's pretty hectic in here. So I'm going to keep this open as such at the moment. And I'm just going to see what happens with this. From there, I'm going to draw a couple of lines as well. I'm just going to have that line there. And structurally, obviously that line on the bottom. I'll see which one breaks first. And then we'll take the trade from there. So this one, at the moment, it's not going to be a trade. I'm just going to take it out just to show you the power it was. I'm going to pause the video. We'll come back. We'll see what happens when the structure of these are taken. Okay. But if we see this on a big, strong push, I'll get rid of this as well. If we see this on a big, strong push up, we've possibly missed out on a 1 to 8, to be fair. If we do come back down to here, I might end up back in on this as a re-entry, to be honest. I might enter that as a re-entry. Let's get these fibs out. Let's go from there down to there. So we can see where it's respecting, you see. Excuse me. I'm going to have that as a trade actually. Swing points from the low to the high. We are respecting these fire zones as it is. Nice 1 to 4 there. We'll see if we'll get it. Again, move to break even. It's going to be the same. So we're getting our first trade of the day. That's our move to break even. Let's just get rid of that. Let's get rid of this because we can see that structure is broken from there. Let's get rid of that. We'll keep this on the top side. We'll keep it on the 1 to 4, guys. And again, we'll monitor this trade. Hopefully this comes back down to touch us in. We'll see where we are. But I am a little bit dubious with this area here. I do think we might get this pushed down into here before we get the takeoff. So I'm going to pause the video. We'll be back in a moment, guys. But at least we've got our directional bias for the day. Hopefully we are starting to move and catch that trend on its reversal. And then we can take it from there, guys. So we're just going to stop the share. And we'll be back in a moment. Hi, guys. Just going to quickly share the screen. We've come in, we've had a hit entry, and we're also on a move to break even. So at the moment, if price is to come down and stop us out on this area, then we are on a break even trade. I'm just going to click this back. I just want to see what this is moving to here. It's a 1.34 decision to be made here. I'm not going to move this to break even just yet. I'm going to see there's going to be a little bit of a push up. Okay, I'm going to continue to risk that 1%. I'm going to see if there's going to be any more growth. If we can get this to maybe this area here, or this area here, we've got a 1 to 2, a 1 to 2, 5, 4. I don't know. It's coming back down now as well. So let's take a look. That's a 1 to 4. We'll move this to risk break even. Okay. So this is the move to break even. So if it comes down and closes us out, we are on break even trade. Now I know we can move to break even plus a few pips, but for clarity and to make it easier mathematically wise, we are testing this strategy and we are just using it as the break evens for now. Okay. If you're using the strategy, you can have this and test it with a break even plus a few pips. Again, we can see what's happening is it's actually peaked and we are starting to get movements back on the downtrend. I do believe this is going to push into this area at some stage before we get the move up. To be honest, this is going to come back down, hit the break even area, I think, which is a shame because the initial push down on here was a good spike. Let's just see if we'll get that reversal. And also from that peak down to that there, we can see it's sort of hovering between that inner firebox. Okay, the inner firebox, which is a strength. It's very strong, that area. We've got an area here as well, which is the weaker side of the firebox. We'll just mark that grey. Get rid of that. This might actually come down to mitigate into this area before bouncing up on that reverse. I'm going to keep this here. We'll just see what happens. Again, we do have imbalance in this area as well, to be fair, but it looks as if it's going to come and stop us out. Indecisive candle. Here comes a push to knock it out on a break even. Yeah, that's a break even. That's certainly a break even. There we are. So that there, it's a shame. But yeah, that's a break even. Let's get rid of some of these lines. Let's see if it mitigates off this and pushes up. Get rid of these lines. So now, if we put a couple of guidelines, I'm going to be looking at that. And I want to see this area pushed. So put it to our guidelines in purple. So we want to break a structure on here. There's too much of a sort of drive down on this, to be fair. I need price to sort of balance itself back out a bit. We've got a first trader to break even. Look at this. This is mitigated beautifully into that 50% of that firebox. Will it actually break out of what the firebox was? Again, down there. And we'll just watch this for a minute or two. See, we'll get a reaction off this. And again, if you're not too sure on what these firebox sort of areas or zones are, it's where price will come into respect within a swing area. We have two inner ones, which are they're like a magnet. In essence, price will go towards 50% of a swing. These are the inner magnets, the fireboxes, as I call them. The two outer ones are the weaker ones before we get any sort of break. Generally, if you do get a push out of these, you'll get a break, a retest back into it, and then it'll normally continue into a separate sort of push or continuation the other way. So again, if you were to do this and put this under here, you've got other areas of importance just underneath. Okay, again, as you can see, these areas, see the swing here, there's consolidation here. This one here, you've got a consolidated area there on the top. Again, this area here, you can see where liquidity lies on there. This on here, you can see where liquidity resides across this here. So there's loads of different methods you can use with these where you double up the frame on each other, to be fair. Once you get the break, the retest, you move whatever that swing point is to the next area down, and then you'll be surprised just what them zones that are underneath when it breaks out of that, what it's respecting on the lower side, or if it's broke to the top side, what it would break to the top end. Something you can have a little bit of play around with as well. As we drill into this, we can see we have had that 50% mitigation on there. Again, this is continuing down, and this puts me off a little bit, to be fair. This was a massive drive down. We've got news at some point at 9 o'clock. Again, I don't tend to bother with news, but we've got a forecast, previous 59 market comp flash. Again, I don't concern myself with news too much, but it can affect price. All we do with this is we keep our supply areas and demand areas. And again, stick with my bias. I do believe that we will get this fire wand out. I do believe we will drive down into these areas and more certainly into this before we get that big spring back up. But again, we wait for price to show its hand. I'm just going to get rid of that firebox. We await to see what happens with regards to the upper side and the lower side. So we're going to be in a bit of a continuation here, or consolidation. Price range at the moment on those two is around about 12 pips. So I think today, unfortunately, maybe a bit of a slow day as well if we're caught between this swing. This price action here hasn't helped too much. I'm going to pause the video. We'll come back. We'll wait for price to show its hand. Wait for that break. And I hope you have taken a little bit of a tip with regards to those fireboxes, having it from a swing high to a swing low. When you get the breakout, okay, whether it's back on the top side after it's mitigated the whole of that box, or if it's a breakout and retest of the bottom magnet area, the bottom firebox, you can copy and paste what you have there and bring it underneath, and then you'll have areas of interest underneath based upon that swing, okay? And then what you do is you just mark out to the previous lower lows or the higher lows or the lower highs sort of thing. You mark your lines off and you'll be surprised where them areas are going to sort of respect into those fire zones. A bit of fire magic there. So just going to pause the video. Right, so let's take a look. We've had a breakout. And what I'll do is later on in the video or towards the end, what we'll do is I'll go over that thing with the fireboxes and things like that. So now, let's have a look. We're looking at how long. We're possibly going to look at that. We could. Got a break of structure here. We could do it from there, to be honest. Do we risk a 1 to 3.75, or do we go for the lower side here and do 2.81? I think I'm going to go for that. That, to be fair, we'll go for this here. Let's get rid of the structure stuff. Let's get our fibs. To break even. Go to this. Do that. You see how the swing point, the initial swing point here, we come up, we're respecting, it's consolidating through, it's pushed right through this. So I do believe as it's respected this higher end, we hopefully might get a push back down to the middle firebox. So I'll go for this sort of area. From there, I'm going to do it from around about there, to be fair. We do this. Clone. Okay. So what I'm looking for, we're just putting the 0 line on top of the 1 line. You'll know when it's precisely on it because the 1 and 0 will match together. Okay. From there, guys, let's just have a look at these levels. The middle. And I've not looked left yet. Okay. We've got the 1 here. That's just above our take profit area, to be fair. Let's just have a look to the left. Well, we see this one here. We've got imbalance. We've got price action. Yes, you can see on here. You see certainly in here. and certainly on this top end. Let's take a look. One to 6. Let's get rid of this. Let's get rid of some of these lines. So 1 to 6.51. What we'll do is I'm gonna try something a bit more adventurous within my trading. Obviously, we've got the protected lower here. 1 to 5.68. We'll see if we'll get the entry on here. As we move down, and then hopefully to the upside. Let's see if we'll get that push. We're going to break even. Again, I'm not worrying too much about the end of this week and where we are with regards to having a -1 yesterday. We've got to remember we are 14.54% in profit from last week, so we can afford to go for a little bit more of a push, and I'm more than happy to risk a 1% to gain a 5.68. So normally I would just go to the area here of like the move to break even. We'll keep this where the TP would have been, okay, where we would have gone for a TP, the TP being a 1.98. We'll risk it, and we'll go up to the 1.568 based upon that there structure wise coming back up to this area here. Now there is fibs we can use, top to the bottom, and if we just go to the cog and we just use the bankers again, the 786 and the 71, just to show you something here where you've had this push down and the retrace coming in. Okay, there's a money zone. There's a money zone, which is that there. Let's get that back to the general firebox. Okay, let's have a look. Dear me, get this. This here back to fire zones, sorry. Okay, so that there, the gray line there, or the gray box, is a 771 to the 786. Okay, which from a swing aspect, swing high to the swing low, it's a smart money fib zone. Okay, we'll just click OK on here, where there could be a high level, a high probability of a return into that area. And look where it's where it would sort of mitigate as well, guys. It would sort of mitigate exactly 50% of this order block here. Again, once you get used to setting these zones up in these areas, these are just giving you loads of extra confluence of where price could eventually go to. I'm going to keep this open at the moment, and hopefully we're going to get the swing down and then up into this area. Again, with regards to imbalance, you've got the wick on the buy in here to that wick there. Again, extra confluence, 50% the entry, 50% is that actual imbalance area. So I'm stacking up all these little bits of probabilities to come into conjunction with regards to where we're heading. Again, this would normally be the area I would normally TP to, which is structure point. It's at the moment that's the ceiling, but I was anticipating price coming down into these areas before we got that big push up to the upside, but maybe the bias is correct with regards to the initial uptrend, because again on that 15-minute, as we've done this morning, we're seeing that the trend was coming down. We have started seeing a shift in momentum, more certainly with this, as you can see, massive down spike where we'll come down to hit sort of order block areas. On the way back up, we had a 15-minute. This was a 15-minute imbalanced area, I do believe, if I remember correctly. And I was looking for a push through two areas. We've got the push through one of them. Okay, we've got the push, or at least we've got the mitigation into one of these order block areas on the 1 minute. Overall, guys, again, this morning, just to look at this on a bigger picture, we would have had the entry there. If we did the 8 o'clock, that would have been that there. That in itself there, the 1 to 8 would have been hit. The 1 to 8 would have been hit if we'd had this started on the 8 a.m. Just to let you guys know. But again, we are looking for that fine line of what time do we get started. Is it going to be the 8 o'clock, the 8:30, the 9 a.m.? Again, these prices can happen at any time, to be fair, but going on the preference of this break of structure from here, okay, we've had the return flag in. This here is on the protected low here, okay. The entry is on the top of the order block, and we've had the push up to the TP. Again, that's an absolute fantastic risk to reward of 1 to 8, but sadly we've missed it. All's not lost. We are looking for a bit of a push down back into this area for this lower high, okay, because we've got high highs, higher low, sorry, okay. So as we've got a higher high, we're looking for the higher low on here being respected, and then a push up. Again, we're starting to break through the ceiling at the moment, so we might just get a retest of this sort of area here, unfortunately. Let's just take a look. Position. I get a retest about there, and then a push up to there. So I'm going to have two trades. We're going to risk two trades here, okay? I'm going to have this one here. If it pushes out, it's a -1. Again, we can afford to risk this week. So I'm going to be looking for a push here. If we get the push out, we've then got the protected low on the next one down. So two trades here, guys. One as if it's going to pull back into the area here before the push up. If we get a break, and this minuses us out, this will be our other entry area. Okay, so a 1 to 536. If that closes out, it's a -1 for the day. But we then have a trade on the bottom side of the 1 to 568. So we'll see what happens with there. We'll see if we get an entry. Hopefully, if we get the push down on here, this will hold structure based upon that area there. And this is what we want to concentrate on at the moment. We'll see what happens with that. Let's just zoom in on this and see we'll get that return. Let's see, we'll get this return into here. Yeah, I'm going to pause the video. We'll come back in a minute. I hope you're finding these things insightful and useful. Again, we have to look at the bigger picture. Okay. Yes, we might hit into another minus here, but we have got a put at the moment at 14.54%. Now, if I've got that put mindset wise and trading, if I've got a pot of 14.54%, I'm going to risk 1% all day for a possible growth of a 5%. That would take us to a 20% growth. So this is worth the risk. Okay, we'll see what happens. We'll come back to it in a moment. And I hope you take a note on the stuff that we do on these sessions. Again, on the top side, this area here is a push towards that retracement of the big swing high to the swing low. It's this area here is the 71 to the 786 area. Okay, we are anticipating that change in direction of the uptrend. It looks as if we've started to get that most certainly from yesterday, to be fair. Again, we've got all this area to cover. Let's see what this trade brings us today. See if we can get an entry on this here. If it happens and it comes off, we've got a nice pot being built up. If it breaks through here, just a -1, then we just catch it on the safety net on the underside. Okay, guys, so I'm going to pause the video. I hope you're loving these sessions. I hope you're getting so much out of it. Please, as always, remember to engage with these videos. Let me know what you're thinking. Comment, give it a thumbs up, hit the heart button. Most importantly, hit the subscribe if you're not already doing so. Hit the subscribe on the channel. Hit the notification bell so you'll be notified straight away. And if you want to go that one step further and get extra help with regards to what we have in this community of the Discord, please click the join button on the YouTube channel. It would mean so much. It helps me create even more content for everybody that follows me. Okay, guys, so we're just going to stop the share and we're going to pause the video and we'll be back in a moment. Hi, everyone. Just to give you a quick update, get my handsome face a little bit bigger again. So it looks like we've hit an entry based upon the structure area here. Again, it's going to be a 1 to 5.36. It's well worth the risk, in all honesty, to go for that, simply because we are on the 14.54%. Again, we could do a structure wise of the trend. We could do, let's see that as the move to break even. That there's a 1.88. So that if we did do the move on that, to be fair, we could claw back what we lost yesterday, plus be in profit today as well. We'll just go back and then just leave that in the 536. Let's see what happens from there. See, we'll get the push up above there, and we'll take it from there, whether we decide to close it out as a profitable day. Again, it might end up where we come down and we break through this sort of zone, if so to speak, because as we've had the impulse, it comes down on the retrace. That there is a fire block, as we call it. You've heard of fire zones and fire blocks. That there is our fire block. 50% is normally where it mitigates to. You can see that's around about the case there. See the crosshair, and you follow the dotted line across. It has mitigated into that 50% beautifully, to be honest. As we delve a little bit deeper, so far that swing to that swing. Again, the stop loss comes into the inner fire zone. So a little bit wary of that at the moment. But again, if we do the clone, okay, do the same trick, put the 1 on top of the 0. So it makes that 10. Okay. We've got the inner zones on the top side here. It's slap bang in the middle where I'm going for the actual TP area. See if we can get that push up. Hopefully we can get something out of that and be not just 14% and profitable overall. Hopefully we can get this pushed to 20, to be fair, today. Again, hopefully you're seeing some value in this. what I'm going to do. I'm just going to let this play out a little bit more. We'll come back and see what happens with it. Again, we'll get this drilled in. That's the area we are looking at the moment. It's heading towards the break-even area at the moment. A nice formation of candles, to be fair. It's continuous and continuing to push. Do we have any sort of imbalance? We've got a little bit of imbalance here, which is very minimal. So there's price efficiency happening on the upturn on this, to be fair, at the moment. So this has given me confidence that price may actually drive up into this area, to be fair. There's nothing imbalance wise to fill out on this drive, other than on the bottom side. We've possibly got a little bit of imbalance on the underside, but if it was to come down and mitigate into this, it's obviously going to stop us out. So the price action at the moment is pretty clean. That's given us a little bit of confluence on what we're doing. We'll see if this price keeps driving and it goes towards the move to break even. We may decide to close out the trade once it gets to that, because not only is it going to give us just under 2%, that's going to sort of cancel out yesterday's trade, and it'll give us profit, or give us a break even for the day as well, guys, simply because, although no, we've just had a break even today, so we would be 1% in profit. Let's see what happens. Just as a quick reanalyzation of it, we've got lows, we've got highs, we've got lower highs, high highs, lower highs. What this is certainly a definitive area. It looks as if it's petered out, to be fair. Again, if this drives down and finishes underneath here, it's sort of looking as if it's going to break structure, to be fair. Overall, we were looking for a general bias of this area to be met today at some stage. We might not get the initial drive straight up, so even if this sort of stops us out, it has been worth the risk of the 1%. In my opinion, the general bias and direction is still on course for what I thought for today. We'll see what happens. I'm going to pause the video and we'll look back on this in a moment or two. Okay, guys, hopefully we'll get to where we need. Hi guys, welcome back. It seems as if we more or less got stopped out. I'm just going to share the screen. We more or less got stopped out, but it's in profit. We've moved to just above the break even. We're coming towards the end of the session. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a decision to sort of bring in and close out the profit, because then it's going to give us that protected profit of, let's take a look. Let's take a look to the move to break even area, which would have been the initial TP. It's given us a 1.8. So I'm going to take the 1.8 win today. 1.8%. Okay, we'll take that as a win. Again, the directional bias is possibly going to go up to where we are on the high side. From there, another good day of trading. We are coming towards the end. There's only about 10 minutes left. So I'm just going to close the trade out, because that's where we generally go for, to be honest, is where you have the breaker structure and the flag comes down to return to entry. The breaker structure area is normally the TP. I'm happy with that on a 1.8. Let's take a look at the Excel sheet. Let's update where we are on the Excel sheet. Get rid of that one there. DMA. Open that. Get rid of that. So today, copy this under here. We've got the 23rd. We had here, we had a break even, and then we had a 1.8. Okay, win. 1.8%. So let's get the calculator. Let's take a look. So this was the running total, 14.54 plus 1.8. So we now got a running total of 16.34. Okay, so we've got, let's take a look. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 1.81. I mustn't have included one of the days the other day, to be fair, on the average daily. An average daily of 1.81. Running total of 16.34. For me, that's a fantastic run so far. Again, looking on this is the directional bias still. Let's look on the 30-minute time frame. Just go up higher and higher, to be honest. Again, you can see as this is sort of playing up, we have come into this order block here, the body of it. Okay, a general consensus, we are now coming into the consolidation zone before we had that massive downturn. Important areas from there, heading into tomorrow. Again, you can see the wicker here there. That's where we're expecting to head towards. I'll wait for tomorrow for the directional bias and what we're doing. It depends on what this price gives, to be fair. There's been a lot given back within this imbalance area. You see how this here, let's just drill in for an end of day conclusion. This wick to wick, a lot of imbalance. It's been met nicely. If we did the mitigation of that contractual area, we might get that push up into this area where my directional bias was for today. Okay, but that's where we are, guys. We are protecting the wins that we've had so far. Again, we possibly could add a 5.36 or 5.38, I think it is, if this was to meet up into the 50% of here. But I'm more than happy to close it out there. Okay, so if you just bear with me, let's just take a look. I just need to check on a couple of things. Just going to stop the share. Just going to pause this one here. Just got a telly playing in the background, to be fair. Stop the share. And my thoughts on today, the trading. Excuse me. So overall, happy with how today has gone. Again, we don't try to get super involved too much with the fact of over trading. We do. It is a scalping method, but it's a controlled method. We have our set time at the beginning, our set time at the end. Pity because where I was starting these off on the 8 a.m. starts, we've missed out on that 8% growth on that one this morning. Not too worried, to be fair, simply because, yes, we've missed out on it. But like I see, you take a step out of your trading chair and look at the picture from a bird's eye view. And we're nicely in just over 16% profit for the last 8 or 9 days, okay? Again, guys, we do this via a structured approach. So if you are going to give this a test or you want to give it a run, it's imperative that you set yourself a starting time and a finish time where you're able to trade for those 2 hours. Set yourself the parameters within those 2 hours. Look to the left, look for your swing points, wait for the break structure, and then use the order block method where to control where you're getting in, where your stop loss is, and things like that. I hope you're finding all this, all these sessions I do of use. I've shown you another trick today with regards to the fire zone. So when you've got your swing point and you've got the identifiable areas, if you break out of the swing high or you break out of the swing low, okay, you're then structurally going to be going to new areas of importance. Now, that original swing point, okay, once you break out the high or the low, you can copy that same swing to, if you do the breakout below, you wait for the break and retest of that fib zone, and then you've got new fib zones or levels of importance going into the downtrend. Because as you break out and come in for the retest and your continuation down, you've got levels of continuation for that trend on the way down. And there is significance when it comes to those zones, because when you look to the left, you'll see they'll hold some sort of validity with regards to previous swing points and things like that. So yeah, again, guys, show your support. Please comment, let me know how you're getting on with things, how you're enjoying these sessions. Engage as much as you can. The playlists will be kept as a week basis. So this week, I think it's now Thursday, so there'll be another 3 in this playlist above this, okay? So if you find the playlist for this, there'll be another 3 above this, which will be Monday or Tuesday or Wednesday. There'll be another playlist for last week where there'll be 5 sessions in there. And these sessions are worth going over. They are worth watching, and they are worth taking notepad and pen with, so you can take notes with. And if you want to support the channel, please go to the Forex Fire homepage on YouTube and click the join button, become a Spark or a fully fledged Fire member. Okay, guys, thank you very much, and we will see you on the end of the week session tomorrow. Okay, guys, thank you very much, guys. My name has been John, Mr. Forex Fire. Catch you later.